So welcome everybody to Reeled In, sharing stories with viral video. Well, if you're a Tyee reader, you know that we've posted things besides news on the website over the years. This is the Tyee's first serious endeavor into video, and we're so glad you're joining us this evening. So we have a pretty busy evening ahead of us, and we're already a bit late, so I'll just make this brief. But I'd like to announce that as of right now, there's a new video section on the Tyee, and all of the shortlisted videos from the Real BC video competition will be up there. So when you leave this evening, or maybe if you're on your phone using our super accessible mobile site, you can check that out. Our technical editor is shaking his head at me, so maybe I shouldn't say that. Okay, so the new video section is going to be the place where the Tyee can share videos that fit with our more general mandate of being BC's home for news, culture, and solutions. So if you have a video that you think fits with that, you can submit it to us, and there's a submission form up on there will be one up on the page. Okay, so we have a great lineup this evening with both a panel discussion and a video screening on the agenda. Not only that, but we'll be announcing the results of that contest I mentioned before. And I know some of the filmmakers are here in the audience, so I'm sure they're anxious to hear the results. Somebody's winning an iPad, so that's pretty great. So in case any of you missed that contest, we sent out a call for entries in October and asked Tyee readers to send in videos that showcase the real BC. We received over 90 submissions, and we then opened up a short list of those videos to votes from Tyee readers. And so after the panel, we will screen the first, second, and third place video and the Tyee's choice. And everybody's getting prizes, so that's fun. So you may have noticed these men on the screen behind me. Kai Nagata and Sean Devlin. I already told you guys where they're Skyping in from, England and New York. So tonight, Kai and Sean and the rest of our panel are going to discuss the ability of video not just to connect people across vast distances, like we're doing right now, but also how video can be used to tell stories, share news, and to engage, inspire, and mobilize audiences. So on that note, I'll introduce everybody, and then I'll pass this over to Steve, because I know he's anxious to take over. Steve's going to moderate tonight's discussion for us. So Sean Devlin is an experienced activist, award-winning filmmaker, and the creative director and founder of Truthful Communication. Creators of shitharbordid.com, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. It went beyond viral, leading up to the last federal election. And as the Tyee's editor, David Beers, described back in April, what keeps propelling people to those pages are regularly released viral videos. So with a decade of experience in creating videos meant to engage and mobilize viewers, Sean has a good idea about how this viral thing works. Tara Mahoney, who's here in person, and co-founder of Gen Y Media, a group that uses participatory media, public art, community workshops, and celebratory events to engage young people in new forms of civic participation. Tara is also an experienced documentary filmmaker and has a master's degree from Ryerson in media production. She's worked with Greenpeace, the Sierra Club, and currently does community outreach for Vancouver's nonprofit Pull Focus Film School. Andrew Struthers is also with us tonight. Andrew created a video called Spiders on Drugs, which has nearly over 28 million views to date on YouTube. So it's a viral success. Andrew originally hails from Glasgow, Scotland, and now resides on Vancouver Island. He's a writer and a filmmaker. He released Spiders on Drugs in 2007, and since then has undertaken a number of innovative video projects, such as one that we posted on the Tyee, American Face, which was a feature-length film released in 64 short pieces on YouTube. Andrew has shot and produced short films, sold feature film screenplays, and is also a published author and playwright. And he's written for the Tyee a couple of times as well. So here in person, he's a filmmaker from Vancouver, BC, and teaches at Vancouver Film School. He has over 38 years of experience in the film and television industry, and has worked as a director, producer, first assistant director, and TV series creative consultant. He's been involved in feature films including Dawn of the Dead, The Butterfly Effect, Happy Gilmore, and has worked with actors such as Morgan Freeman, John Travolta, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Ashton Kutcher. In addition to all this, Peter also manages a website, actioncutprint.com, and a blog, filmdirectingtips.com, and publishes a free monthly e-zine that is read by nearly 6,000 filmmakers from around the world. You guys are all very impressive. And Steve, who will moderate our panel discussion.
I'm just some guy.
No.
I'm just some guy, and I'm the guy they could get. So, yeah. So.
Top choice, Steve. Top choice. Steve's a writer and a film reviewer based out of a variety of coffee shops around Vancouver. He writes a regular column for the Tyee and also one for BC Business magazine, and has been published in dozens of magazines and newspapers across Canada. Has won numerous awards for his writing as well.
2.
It's more than one. You've been nominated a bunch of times.
I've been nominated a lot of times.
Yeah,
that counts for something. You roll all the nominations together, and that's maybe 1 award. That counts as 1. He appeared on ESPN, CTV, Global, and made a particularly memorable appearance on a Catholic TV channel in the Philippines. That's right, in the Philippines.
TV Maria.
TV Maria, in the Philippines. Yep.
Which I'm sure we'd all like to hear more about later.
Yeah. In fact,
maybe afterwards by the cash bar. Steve also recently published a book called Who Killed Mom? About his mother. It's a memoir.
By attending tonight's event, you are contractually obligated to purchase my book, Who Killed Mom?
Okay, and finally...
At the full retail price.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
Oh, sorry, no, you go ahead. I'm just reading the terms of the agreement, that's all.
Okay, they all signed up.
Yes.
At the front door. That you thought that was e-newsletter?
Yeah,
no. You're buying a copy of Steve's book. And then Kai, who you can see up on screen over there, was until fairly recently employed as CTV's bureau chief in Quebec City. But this summer, Kai quit his job and wrote a scathing blog post that went ultra-viral. His lament of the state of Canadian media, which some have called Nagata's manifesto, and Nagata's mom is in the audience this evening, so I'm sure she's quite proud. It was republished by the Tyee, Rabble.ca, Huffington Post Canada, the Toronto Star, amongst others. It was tweeted about by Margaret Atwood, which is a huge deal in my books. Kai's departure from mainstream media has landed him interviews on all kinds of radio stations and with news outlets across the country. We're proud to say that Kai is the Tyee's writer-in-residence right now, and is working on a number of independent projects, one of which he will share with us now. So we'll hear from Kai, and then we'll get to the panel discussion in a few minutes. So Kai, do you want to talk about...
Did we introduce...
Sean?
Yeah.
He got first.
Oh, he got the first. I'm sorry, I missed that, right?
You were thinking about your books.
Yeah, I was so concerned with my own.
So Kai, do you want to talk a little bit about your latest project, and then we'll be able to screen it. We're going to cut Sean off for a minute, and we'll be able to screen it on the other screen simultaneously.
Quebec City, back in May. This is when I worked at CTV. And I ran into someone who just had, this kind of special vibe to him. And he was dragging this giant instrument, like an 8-foot tall instrument case through this airport. And he's totally blind, so he's walking with a cane. And we started talking on the plane, and he told me about this obsession that he'd been sort of chewing over in his brain, and he was heading down to Denver to shoot an opera, or to play in an opera for a week, but after that he wanted to start training to jump a motorcycle 100 feet. And so I listened to him and evaluated the possibility that he was just insane, or some kind of, running an elaborate con. And I decided I would stay in touch with him and look him up, and a bunch of other stuff happened in between, so we kind of didn't talk for a couple of months, and I was dealing with all the stuff that happened this summer. And when he got back in touch with me in August to say that he was serious and he was going to go ahead and start training, I figured it was kind of too good of a story to pass up, and I wanted to see what happened and where it went. And so at that point we had such a short time frame that there really wasn't any leeway to start writing grant applications or put together something for Kickstarter or another threshold-based system and wait and see whether it would actually get funded. So we decided to test a very pure crowdfunding model and just raise a little bit of money and some gear from friends and family and other interested supporters and just see what we could put together. So,
I mean, when watching that film, it really feels to me like a traditional documentary. And so I wonder how you feel about how a film like that fits into the idea of a viral video. You know, I mean, how do you decide whether a project that you're interested in is going to be a sort of a quick viral video or something that is going to be more of a full-length documentary?
Well, I think it depends how you define viral, and it's a metaphor, right? It's a metaphor for a branch of mathematics that deals with how ideas or how diseases are transmitted. If you're trying to make a viral video, I would recommend you don't make something that's 12 minutes long and relies on like Renaissance lute compositions to drive the story. And you know,
okay, well, hold on.
we're
taking notes here. Hang on. Just
yeah.
taking a few notes. Okay, no lute. Okay.
No lute.
Right.
The kids, they like Justin Bieber. They don't like lutes. If you wanted to make a list of things that you know, that are popular and attention grabbing, and you want to put it into something that's, you know, 90 seconds long or 45 seconds long that people can share rapidly, then that's, I guess, an idea or a virus that has a much more, it's a higher transmissibility, I guess you could say. And I guess we opted to invest the time because we thought the story was worth putting that kind of work and those sort of human resources into making something that that wasn't just like, oh my God, drink Sprite, here's a guy jumping a motorcycle, he's blind, drink Sprite. Like, it was not, could have gone that way. I think you could take the story and do a bunch of different things with it, but we just decided that we wanted to go for a more traditional look and feel, but to use online distribution. And so what we're doing now is just purely word of mouth. So if it's a disease or a virus, it's something that you know, that you have to catch from a close friend that you trust very much and who's paying you respect.
I would suggest, by the way, that if you perhaps could replace the lute with the Sprite, and then, you know, you might have something there in terms of a little bit more marketability, you know. Lute's,
yeah, or if he cussed more, like Gordon Ramsay or something.
Yes, exactly.
You should get him to up the cussing. Yeah.
Listen, I want to bring Sean in because you've been so patient, sitting all alone in your lonely room, far, far away in New York City. So tell me, your experience was very different and also didn't involve Sprite. Tell me a little bit of the history of shit Harper did and what your experience was with it.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think it was just in the lead up to the election. There was a group of us that didn't like Stephen Harper and mostly felt like a lot of stuff he had done had gone under the radar. Either people had forgotten that he had done it or simply hadn't noticed. And we started by compiling a list of some of the more shocking things he had done. And we wanted to present it in a simple website, and the idea for the video was that we would create these short, funny videos that would drive traffic to the information on the website.
Right. And I imagine that the response was something greater than you would imagine.
It was, yeah. And I think part of what's interesting with that is that the videos were like modestly successful, but the website itself got like something like 10 times as much traffic as the videos did. So the videos were really something that drove people to the site, but what we really wanted was for people to engage with the website, and in the end that's what happened.